Can you hear the music?
Yeah.
Oh, she can hear it. Doesn't it just like get you just like ready to go?
Like totally pumped.
Like Holly E just fist bump in the air.
Oh, Jersey Shore action.
Yeah. Cabs again.
Yeah.
T-shirt time. All right, welcome back to another episode of On the Throne with Dick, and shout out to Senjin Boychuk for that incredible intro-outro music. You find him everywhere on the socials, and shout out to today's guest, Miss Lindy Lou Who, aka Mrs. Yellow.
That's me.
What's going on?
Well, it seems like it's been forever since you've been trying to get me on here, so here I am.
Yeah, I've asked you a few times, and you know, like
Yes.
every time I ask someone to come on, and they're like, "Oh man, sorry it's taking so long," or "Sorry we haven't gotten it." Hey, the podcasting game is a game of cat and mouse. It happens when it
It
happens, and usually
is.
if it doesn't happen now, it happens later on down the line for a much better reason, right? You know, like
Exactly.
maybe the full story or whatever's happening to you hasn't happened yet, and it's a conversation piece that we can't just not have on. You know.
Well, and I'm a busy person.
You're busy. I'm busy. Everyone's
Hmm.
busy. You're a
That
mom.
is a fact.
You work
I'm a mom.
away. You don't really
I
work away.
do.
You're home every night, but like you work
Almost.
almost. Oh, you do
It's
stay
hit and
away.
miss. Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Good for
Not
you.
very often anymore, but yeah.
Good for you. This is why this is the center like piece of the conversation, I guess. Like it's May. You know, well,
It
technically
is
right now
me.
it's the end of April, but like we're not talking about that. April's gone. This is like
Semantics.
the yeah, this is like May, and Mother's Day is in May, and we're
Yes.
chatting with all the blue collar moms that are like slay it in on the job site in motherhood. You're a wife, although like that haircut might suggest you might be the male of the relationship. Hey,
Well, you never know.
Scotty doesn't even have any hair. He's got a little more than I do,
Fair,
a little
yeah.
bit, a little bit.
A little bit.
So how you been?
I'm good. Good.
That's
Busy,
good.
like crazy busy. Baseball season started, so we're on the diamonds 5 nights a week. And
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. You gonna get double D out there this year? I don't know. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I don't know. Like, I'm not playing that much this year. I've got both the little guys on the field this year, so that's
Hell
four
yeah.
nights a week in itself. Like, it's busy. Coaching, so that's a lot.
Good for you. Like I know you
Hmm.
love playing and you love the sport and whatnot, and like you know that's got to be hard for you to watch other people play, right? You know, like I know when I it's like watching other people work. It's like man, like you're doing it wrong. Like you know,
You
like
watch
even if they're
other
doing it
people
right.
work every day, though. Like you sit around
Hey,
and watch them work every day.
hey, someone's got to do it right.
It's a tough job, but you're right. Someone's got to do it.
Hold on, let me put my phone on do not disturb here. We're putting it on do not disturb, and my mom just messaged me, and I don't want that to be a thing. There we go.
Hey, but
Sorry, mom.
it's Mother's Day month, and of course your mom
It's
would
true.
message you.
It's true. It's true, but it's not Mother's Day, so we can't be talking
No,
just
that's
yet.
true.
Right? Like I
That's
gotta
true.
save all my best talking. Like I can't have her that exhausted with me before the big day. You know, like if I talk to her too much before Mother's Day, she might block my call on the actual day.
That's fair. I feel like my mom would do that too.
My mom definitely would. Now she would. She loves me. I'm her. I can't even say that because my older brother listens. I was gonna say I was her. I'm her oldest child. Like the other guy doesn't exist at all, right? But like he,
I can honestly say I'm my mom's favorite daughter because I'm the only one. So,
there you go. There you go. Uh, so so you know Mother's Day, blue collar wives and moms and yada yada yada. Like you do that. You know you do that thing. Are you a safe? You're a safety person, right?
I am a safety person. I'm a safety person and a dispatcher and all of those things all in one. And
we've managed to keep the safety people out of here for the most part, except for safety girl Tanya. She's been on, but like I guess
Safety girl Tanya is awesome. I love her.
she's a pretty amazing woman. That's for sure. You know,
Yeah,
we try. You know, we have a little rivalry going, her and I love it. You know, like
I love
we
it.
nothing's happened in the last like I think she did one of my videos or stitched one of my videos like recently, but like we haven't really hung out that much lately. She hasn't been up this way in like a month or so. So next time she's up this way, we gotta hang out again. But like, you
Oh, for
know,
sure.
I love it when she comes up this way and we can get together and make some good content, keep that banter going back and forth.
Oh,
She's an
for
interesting
sure.
gal for sure.
Well, I mean, if you've seen
So
any of my
how
videos,
did you
you know
get?
I love a good TikTok banter.
Oh, you and Warren are just like you guys, and you get banned for it sometimes. Like the
Oh yeah,
TikTok
we
just can't
both
handle
do.
it. They just can't hang with it.
The funny thing is Warren and I've been friends. Like in real life, we've been friends for 30 years.
I love
So,
that. I gotta get Warren on the podcast at some point. Like we've been working.
yes.
I've asked him once, and he said yeah. But like you know, like he's been really busy, and then you know, like it's just half the time when I do a podcast, like you and I, we scheduled like yesterday,
Yeah, we did.
right?
It's got to be,
And
and that's the thing. To get me, you've got to be like, and it's got to just fit, because otherwise,
yeah,
I'm so freaking
yeah.
busy.
Well, for the most part, when I ask someone to come on, right, and I'm like, "Well, when are you free?" And I'm like, "Well, this day, that day." I'm like, "20 minutes from now, you good?" Right? And like, because I'm on call 24/7. I never know my schedule, and I'm
Same.
so busy. It's like you know, if I schedule, and this happened a couple times on this podcast, actually a couple times with a couple guests who were a little irritated at me a little bit, but like they would schedule like a week or two out, and then like I don't know what I'm doing, right? That in a week or two from that day, right? I don't even know what I'm doing 24 hours from now. So, you know, we'd schedule and then this one person, they messaged me, they're like, "Hey, are we still doing this podcast tonight?" And I'm like, "Oh shit, I just recorded one with someone else because they were available right then and there and my mind slipped, right? And like, hey, you know what? Why don't we do this while I'm at home? Right? Like I'm gonna be home on these days. I can schedule it while I'm at home, no problem, right? I'm at home, I have that time. But when I'm on the road, I can't. It's impossible.
For sure. But you're busy when you're at home too. Those little
Oh,
frostlings, they keep you jumping.
the Frostlings, man, and I'm pretty sure one of them, like the older Frostling, she's going through early. I don't know if I can say like she's aging quickly. She's maturing very quickly, and I don't want to say it because then it's weird saying it. She's got a really big attitude lately.
Yes.
She's she's when she gets hangry, we all feel it. She is mouthy. She is growing quick. She that I don't know how to word this. I don't know how to word this.
It
She
sounds
is
like you just
becoming
talked
a
about
young
me. I
lady.
get hangry, I have a big attitude and a big mouth, and
Yeah. Oh yeah, you do. She I don't know how to word it, but she is growing into a young lady way too quick for me. You know what I mean? And like
mhm.
I just got to go home today for well, I went actually last night. I booked her out late last night, and I hit the highway and I had to be in the airport this morning to pick up some coworkers. I volunteered for it, so I could go home for a night. I just need to go home. I was just
Yeah.
like I just need to be home. All right, so I went home for the night. I saw the kids for a little bit, gave the wife some kisses. You know, I gave her some frosted kisses,
Important.
and then like you know,
Absolutely.
I got to go to the airport, and then I had to pick up one guy, and then there was like a 5.5 hour wait in between picking up the other one. So I'm like, you take the truck, drop me off at home, and then you go do something else and pick me up before you go. So I went back home and we watched Fallout for a little bit, hung out with the kids, took them to the park, and got back and had to come back here. So
Right on.
yeah, hell yeah. So how long you been in the oil field for?
Oh, off and on most of my adult life. I left the oil field for a little while. Just when the kids were smaller, I needed something that was a little more stable. The bottom had just fallen out of the oil field. Everything had kind of crashed, and that was the perfect opportunity for me to kind of step into that mom role a little bit more. Because what a lot of people don't realize, I have kids in every age group. I've got an adult son, he's 22. He's a pilot, which is terrifying. And then I've got an almost 13-year-old and an almost 8-year-old. So
And they're half Asian.
only one is half Asian. And apparently, I learned this yesterday. He is just like me.
Wait,
One of my
which
friends
ways?
made the comment. Yeah, seriously, one of my friends makes this comment. They're like, "Oh, he looks so sweet and innocent," and then he opens his mouth, and you're like, "Ah, there's Lindy."
There it is.
Yeah,
There it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
So,
And my oldest is
um,
just like me too.
no. So when you made that decision to leave the field and go be a mom, was that like was that kind of difficult to do? Because the field, like
It
once
was,
that gets in your blood, like once you
Y-
get that in your
and that's
fingernails
why I
and
went
shit.
back. It's it's a weird. It's weird. That the whole transitioning from oil field worker gone all the time to now all of a sudden I'm home and I've got these kids and I didn't know what to do with myself. I felt lost for a long time there, just trying to find my
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, I bet. So what did you do in that meantime? Like, did you stay home, or like did you like find something in town?
I stayed home and then I was a paralegal for quite a while.
Nice, nice. So like, what
Yeah.
Scotty was trying to like have an argument with you or some shit. You're just like, you want the truth, you can't handle the truth, right? Like,
No, I just look at him and say, "Meh, I'm taller," and walk away.
hey, shout out to those Asian boys. I love that guy. I fucking love Scotty, man. Like, hey,
Uh,
and hey, let's put this, let's sprinkle this on there a little bit. You are from where Uncle Hack is from. Like,
I
Uncle
live,
Hack.
yes. I don't personally, Scotty does, because I'm
Yeah,
not from here. Like I'm an import to here. Um, but Scotty knows him and knows him quite well.
yeah.
Actually,
Hell yeah.
there was one night a couple years ago, you were live with Uncle Hack and Scotty hijacked my phone
Yeah. That was
and came
last
in
last fall. Last That was just
last
past fall.
fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in Dawson Creek.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's been quite the winter for Uncle Hack, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, sure has.
Oh shit. I
But it's
fucking
one of
love
those
that
things if
guy.
there's no such thing as bad publicity,
No,
really.
no, not at all. Him and I were talking about it as it was happening. I'm like, man, does she realize that she's helping you? And he's like, man, it's mind blowing. Like, I don't understand what I have to do to like. I've told her, I'm like, hey, all you're doing is helping me, and like, it's just mind blowing. Like, dude, you're on the news now, right? Like,
Well, he made the national news with it. Um, and I got asked a lot about it too, like how what my thoughts on it were. I'm like, you know, we all we've all been there. I
yeah.
mean, this is I'm on my third TikTok account now. I got banned twice.
Ugh. I thought you and I
So
were gonna
now,
get banned for being racists back in the day.
oh, right, I making off-color comments, just hacking on each other. But it turns out it's politics. That's the fastest way to get banned on TikTok. So if you notice, I don't talk politics anymore. I don't talk politics. I don't talk religion. I don't talk anything remotely controversial.
Well, politics was like, yeah, it was a good way to get banned, but it was also a good way to grow really fast too, right?
It was because I
Yeah,
grew that
yeah,
first account, that the very first account I had, I grew it to 80,000 followers really quickly.
yeah, yeah. It's wild. And the other guy, there was another guy who had like half a
Yeah.
million at one point in
Yeah.
time, right? And like, it was mind blowing. Like, how fast, like, people come if they follow, they're like, yeah, politics, I'm following. Not all of them are good followers though. They're not there to support you, they're to watch you burn. We've talked about this, right?
Exactly.
They're there to watch you burn. And anybody that hits that follow button and you're controversial, they're not there because they like you. They're
No,
there because
they're there
you
for the
know
drama. Simple as
yeah,
that. And there's a
yeah,
lot of
it's
creators
wild.
on TikTok, I find, that the things they say on TikTok aren't necessarily who they are as people. It's the shock
Yeah,
value, right? It's shock and awe.
You know who's a really good example of that? Someone I'm having on the podcast in June. We've already talked about it. I was live with him the other day. Jacob Voss Blogs.
Yeah, yes. Um,
Perfect example of that.
Perfect example.
Yeah.
I do.
Like,
I forgot about that guy. I used to watch his lives at like 3 in the morning and just die laughing
oh, he's
because the
still live
things
at
that
three
he
in the
would get
morning.
away with saying. I know, but the things he gets away with saying. And to be fair, I'm not awake at 3 in the morning because I leave for work at 4. Like, well, 5.
Yeah.
I'm up at 4. So
Yeah.
it's crazy. Yeah.
He he was I was live with him the other day and he's like, man, I see you come in here a lot. I used to see you come in here a lot back in the day too. And I'm like, man, I came in to laugh. Right? Like I
But
saw who
his
you were
content
battling it
has
out with.
changed.
Oh, it has. It's changed a lot. He was talking about how, like, people believe anything. He's like, oh, I would attack Albertans. I live in Edmonton. He's like, yeah, I would
Yeah.
attack the oil and gas. I grew up in Saudi Arabia. My mom was a single mom for a while, and she worked in oil and gas. And I'm like, oh shit, man. Like I knew all that about you, right? But like, fucking, just incredible, just incredible. Like, I I've had to explain it to people over the last little while a lot. I'm like you see content creators and they say something ridiculous, they don't necessarily believe that or like think that
No.
way. They're just saying because that's what works for them, right?
Well, and I used to do that. And I would sit there and be like, you know what? I'm going to pick a fight on the internet today. Let's post this video. And I had hundreds of them saved in my drafts for just what I felt like picking a fight on the internet. And I never
Yep.
got engaged in the comments. I never got so wrapped up in it that a comment would just throw me right off and make me mad. I always looked at it. You and I've had this conversation. For a long time, I would just comment back, thanks for the boost to the algorithm. Thanks for the views.
Yep.
Thanks. Because
Yep.
there's a lot of people out there that are literally just internet trolls. I've been an internet troll.
Chris Barber calls himself the world's biggest internet troll. Like
I can see it.
that's what's hilarious about it, right? And he is. I love it.
He is. I love his content.
My favorite thing now is like I'm monetized on Instagram and Facebook, right? So
Yes.
one of my favorite things is when people comment like on my work videos and they're like, "Oh, you're a slave, a wage slave, or you're abandoning your children. Oh, you're letting your boss take advantage of you, yada yada yada, and this is why we don't want to work." And I'm just like, bro, like you can call me all these names you want, you can make fun of me all you want to, but um, literally I just trapped you into this conversation. And I don't say
I
that to the
know.
end. I won't say that to the end, but like I'll keep engaging. Like, you're butthurt. You're so butthurt. I'm making you comment back. And they're like, oh, this
Yeah.
guy's fighting for his life in the comments. What a loser. And I'm like, bro, no, that's not what's happening here. I don't care if I'm losing in the comment section. My bank account's winning. What the fuck do I care?
Well, exactly. And what they don't realize is every time they open that video to comment back,
Yeah.
that's another view to the video. And if that
Yeah.
video plays 5 times while they're angrily typing, that's 5 more views.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I was just like, you know what, you guys, like, thank you. I said this a couple months ago or a month ago. I had a video on Facebook. I dropped a troll comment in the comment section, and then
Yeah.
it started a little argument, and I walked away. And a couple hours later, I come back. It was like probably like 12 hours later. I come back, and there's like hundreds of comments. The video made me $300 in like 12 hours. Because these guys couldn't handle, like, they couldn't just keep their opinions to themselves. They felt the
No.
need that to express their view and their opinion. And when I see that shit on the internet when I'm scrolling, and if I see something, sometimes I'll go to type and I'm like, no, back up. I'm not
Yeah.
falling for this, and I leave. I just chuckle and
Yep.
I leave. I'm like, man, you guys don't understand how the internet works. I'm leaving. I love
Well,
it.
but and we're all guilty of it. Like you see somebody stitch somebody else's video and it's like they're going to argue about something. You're going to go check out that other video to see what started this whole thing.
Yep.
And sometimes you've gone like down 10 different videos to get to the start of it. And you've gone right
Yep.
down a rabbit hole and
Yep.
it's ridiculous.
I've been I can't use the word victim, but I've been like involved in that. And like when video was made about me, I just ignored it. I'm like, oh, because I know what's gonna happen. If I make a video about that one, they're sending traffic to me and I'm sending traffic back and we're just gonna ping pong that shit back and forth like that. And I'm like, I'm not gonna do that.
Exactly.
Why would I do
I
that?
don't
Like,
do that
I'm
anymore.
a bigger creator than this person. I'm not going to feed them more followers or potential followers. You know, I'm
Do
just
you
gonna
know
leave it
what's
alone.
funny? I was thinking about this the other day. I was actually thinking about this yesterday when you sent me the text about coming on the podcast. You and I have been friends since we both hit 1,000 followers. The On my first account,
Yeah.
you pushed me to 1,000. I was at like
Hell yeah.
994, and you gave that push to get me to 1,000. And then I came into your live that day with you and Drew Skanes.
Yep.
And that was probably the
Yep.
most inappropriate live I've ever been part of to this day. I thought I was going to witness a murder.
No. So, like, yeah. And if you think about it, if you want to go back to the beginning, we've been creating content now for 4 years.
Yeah, that's 4
It's
years.
been 4 years of this shit. And like
Mhm.
I've slowed down a little bit this year. Like I'm focusing on the podcast. I'm also learning to, hey, don't dump all your time into the internet either, right? Like I'm focusing on the podcast. I'm focusing on sleep now. Like I was really sleep
Yeah.
deprived. I sleep deprived the shit out of myself for 3 of these
Yeah,
years,
you did.
right? Like
You did.
yeah, I did, man. I went hard, right?
But it gave
And
us all
like
something to do
now
during COVID.
absolutely it did. And after COVID too, right? And like, it was it's a lot of fun. I'm still having a lot of fun. I'm banking videos a little bit now. It's like, all right, I'll make that later. I don't need to put out 2, 3 videos today. And if I don't have a video to put out today at all, I'm not putting one out. I'd rather put out
Yeah,
quality over quantity now. I'm
that's
gonna
me
put out
too.
a
I
really
don't
good
put out,
video once or twice a week.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's better serving. And see, I don't post every day. Sometimes I'll go weeks without posting because I'm busy. Like, I'm busy with the kids, and I never, ever, ever post my kids on social media.
Yeah.
Like my Facebook, yeah, because my Facebook is locked up tight. You can't even search me on Facebook. So I post my kids there, but I'm really, because I got doxxed. Like my house was put on TikTok. I don't post my kids where people can see them because I'm a mom first, and I am very protective of my kids and my family and my peace.
Yeah. Yeah, that's huge. I've put my kids on there a little bit more in the last like few months to a year. I've made some videos with them. My kids are getting good at lip syncing. So like I'm taking advantage of that,
Yeah,
right? I'm
they
like,
are.
hell yeah, let's do it.
Absolutely.
Let's do it. This is awesome. I've been waiting years for this, right? Like when I first started, they couldn't do it. Last year they couldn't do it. The year before that. And now my kids are like my daughter, I'm like, I wonder if she can
She
do
is on
this.
point. See,
Yeah, both of them
I-
are not bad at it.
and I find like now that, so my oldest son, obviously he's on TikTok because everybody is on TikTok.
Yeah.
And now my middle son is on TikTok. So I'm very careful what I post now because I don't want that phone call from my oldest son going, "Mom, are you serious right now? Like, did you really just say that?" And I used
Yeah.
to get that from him all the time. Like, "Mom, stop picking fights on the internet. Like, Mom, you're 5'2". You're not 6'4". Shut up."
Yeah, and not only was your house put on there, wasn't your like work put on there? Someone like
My
found out where you
work,
worked, and they like the internet's a wild place, man. Like people can
my
find out
work,
whatever they want about whoever they want.
my license plate on my vehicle.
Nah.
It was
Man, the
wild.
internet sucks sometimes.
The internet is what you make of it. And so
Yeah,
I took a social media reset, and I was gone from TikTok for over a year. Um,
yeah,
I didn't even have an account. I took a break. I was done. Um, and then I came back because I miss my friends. But I've always said, if TikTok ended tomorrow, it wouldn't be the end of the world for me because every person that I interact with, I have their phone number, or I have their
yeah.
Snapchat, or we're friends on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. And so it wouldn't be the end of the world. And the rest of them, I mean, they don't know me well enough to have a problem with me.
Exact. Well, I don't think they do, but yeah, no, it's wild. Like the the amount of times like some beef went down, right? And it wasn't and someone else's beef, someone else's issue. and I'd see
Yeah.
it before you would, and I'd call you. I'm like, Lindy, you need to ignore this. This is what happened. You need to ignore this. I know you're gonna
Yep.
see it. You need to ignore it.
Stop.
Like, stop, just stop, drop, and roll. Like, think about it for a minute. Like, ignore it, and then
The
you go
best
see
piece
it,
of
and then
advice,
sometimes you couldn't do it, and sometimes you
but
could. Like,
the
there was
best
times
piece of
where you couldn't,
advice,
there was times where you could.
yeah. But the best piece of advice I ever got was from you about that stuff. Go ahead and make the video, but save it in your drafts for a day and go back
Yep.
and watch it. And if you still feel that same way the next day, then post the video.
Hell yeah.
And so at one point I had like 300 drafts, and they're like, why am I saving these? This isn't serving me. It's making me angry. It's making me into a person I didn't ever, because I'm not an angry person.
Yeah.
So I got rid of all the toxicity from the app and came back a second time, and I'm having way more fun now,
Yeah.
putting out
You definitely are.
mediocre at best content. But I'm having fun.
Yeah. Yep. I can tell the difference between when you left to take your break and when you came back. Like, you were very angry, Lindy, when you left, right? You were just
Yeah.
like this fucking built up rage and shit. Like, shit was eating at you, right? You left, and like, I noticed when you came back, like, the only beefs you're in are with Warren, right? And
Yeah, well,
that's
he started it.
hey, and also fuck the Flames, right?
Okay. See, now you're trying to get me angry and get me into a fight. But so here, I'm going to explain this to you how this works. Okay. So the Calgary Flames, as we all know, are not built for the playoffs. And that's okay. Be- Richard.
Yeah. You see that? You see, what is that? What is that right there? I don't know if you can see it.
Toilet paper.
Anyone?
It's toilet paper.
Toilet paper.
That's what
Yeah.
that is. It's very expensive
What about,
toilet paper.
what about this one? Oh, this one here.
So, Richard, as a Leafs fan, I know you understand my heartbreak here.
Yeah, I get it. I understand.
And it works. So my theory is Calgary's not a playoff team, and that's okay because baseball season has started. And I'm a diehard Boston Red Sox fan. And as of the last couple of years, they're not built for October. So by then hockey season started again. So I don't focus on the playoffs anymore.
The last 2 seasons, have the Flames been built for any kind of hockey?
No. Like
It wasn't Daryl Sutter's fault,
they
was it?
no, it wasn't. Sutter was the fall guy. It is what it is.
Absolutely. But hey, go Bo Sox, I guess. I don't really watch baseball.
Absolutely.
It's 4 hours of
Well,
my life I'll never get back.
you know what? I'll tell you why you don't like baseball. It's because it's a thinking person's sport. Like you have to really focus
Ooh,
on it. And no, I mean
shit.
this in the nicest possible way. It's you have ADHD. I'm sure of it.
Probably.
Um, and so yeah, it's not a thinking. It's not just a sport that you can just watch and be like. There's a lot
Do
of
you do you know, like, there's something to back up your claim about the ADHD thing, and this podcast and how it's been um like sort of brought out, delivered. There's no rhyme or, well, there's a rhyme and reason, but like there's no um there's no plan, there's no agenda, right? It's just like, hey, let's get
yeah,
on there and talk. I've tried to plan it before. It doesn't work well, right? Like, I've
no.
tried, and it just falls apart on me because there's too much going on up here that I got to store, and it's like, all right,
Hmm.
where are we at here in the time thing, right? And it's like, no, let's just have a free flowing conversation, and what comes out, and we've managed to have some really good conversations, and so, it's, and I mean,
We've had a
I've
lot
had a
of
lot
really
of
good
fun.
conversations over the years. Because like I
Oh
said,
yeah.
we've been friends on this app from pretty much from day one.
Hell yeah.
Like it's been a
Hell yeah.
lot. It's been a hell of a ride. Actually, hang on. I need to show you something.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Hopefully it's not
I
gonna get
moved
us.
it. I moved it. Now I don't remember where I put it. I still have a Camp 10 hat.
Oh man, I don't even know where my cat.
I
Maybe it's up
know.
there. I think the
I
camp,
have a white and
man,
pink one that Casey made for me, special because it was white and pink. And
camp
she cussed at
10.
me a little because trying to find white hats was really hard.
Oh yeah. I have a black gold one, and I have a black gold shirt somewhere over here somewhere. But I still push that stuff a little bit, but like Casey's been really really busy, and like if I really want to like swarm her and fuck her day right up, I'll just we just got a giant order of stickers in, and she's like, please don't post that yet. I gotta fill some other orders first. Please don't post that, and because like the stickers they go like quick, right? And
Oh yeah.
and so yeah, she's like, don't post that until I'm done, and then you can post it. Like it's summer, like almost summer. It's
Yeah.
spring. It's hot outside.
Exactly.
Fire season's coming up, or we're in fire season. The
We
dick
are.
beaters are back. It's dick beater season.
It is dick beater season.
It's dick
So
beater
funny
season.
story. So back to the ADHD, because I have severe ADHD. You're trying to keep me focused on anything for more than a minute, especially at this time of night when my meds have worn off. It's a little hard.
Oh yeah.
But um, so this fall we were on the hunt for drivers, and I had mentioned it on TikTok quite a few times. Like I couldn't find drivers, and I was starting to get frustrated. So we hired one, and I love this kid. I adore him. He is so good. And we're talking one day, and I had my Yeti cup sitting on my desk, and he flips it around and he goes, Dick Frost. I used to work with him.
Who is that?
His name is Sean. He's just a baby. He's 25, 26. He worked up there with you guys for a little while.
Like he worked here?
Yeah.
Sean. I'm trying to think of who that might be. I don't know who that is. What's his last name?
Yeah. I'm not going to
Tell
say
me
it
off.
on
Tell
here.
me offline.
I'll tell
Tell
you
me off.
after. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
Really good kid though. Super good kid.
Sean. I'm
He
like,
knew you and Denny and of course the infamous Drew.
fuck. You gotta tell me. You gotta tell me this
Yeah, I will.
afterwards. Yeah, because
I
this
will.
is yeah. We'll figure this out.
I call him my little rookie, and like, he's a good kid.
No, I love that. I've been driving a lot more lately. The like vac trucks. I've been,
Did they finally
sitting in
put
the
the
driver's
blocks
seat.
on the pedals? They put the
Yeah,
blocks on the
yeah,
pedals for you?
yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
I
And
like
I
it.
sit right at the dash, so if I ever get into an accident, my face is hitting the window.
Oh, for
Um,
sure.
but I'm learning the shift pattern a lot, and I stalled the trucks a few times, right? I'm
It
having
happens.
trouble shifting down. But the other day I did pretty decent, but like
Good.
I'm just driving around the yard and on the lease roads and shit like that, just driving around. I'm in the next couple weeks or so I'm going for my air brakes. You
Nice.
know this swamper life sucks. Like
It
I
does.
love it. I love it because it suits my personality a bit. Just
It
getting
does.
right fucking messy and shit. But like, it doesn't suit what my bank account should be. So
No, because you've been doing it for a long time. Like you'd make twice as much money as you do now if you had a three or a
yeah,
one.
yeah. And I train all the new drivers that come through, like how to do all this shit. I just can't train them how to drive, but I train them how to run the vac, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything else, and like it sucks training a guy who makes $10 to $15 more an hour than you.
It
It
does.
it, it does, and
I'm
they all see
I'm
me and they're like,
surprised
"Man,
it's
I'm sorry."
taken this long for you to do it though. I mean, really, because you've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it a lot lately, and a lot over the last year, I guess. But like, I don't know. I didn't necessarily know if I wanted to be like in the backside of things anymore. I've been trying to get out. I applied for a crane operator apprenticeship, so we're waiting to hear back from that too. But
That'd be
still
good.
at that, yeah, still at that though, I need my class 1 or 3, right? For the
Yeah.
smaller cranes, is a class 3. For the bigger cranes is class 1. But they train you on automatics, right? So a
Yeah.
little different. So I've been working towards that a little bit, and you know, we're gonna figure something out. Either way, if I don't end
Oh
up
yeah.
doing that, I'm gonna be here and I'm gonna make as much money as I can, I guess.
You never know. You might end up working for me one day.
Oh, I don't know if I could do that.
I don't think I
We
could.
might get in trouble. We might get in
We would get
trouble.
in
We would make
trouble
some
all the
videos for
time.
sure. We would make some Dick Frost versus the safety lady videos for sure.
We'd fight. Well, and also, like, I'm trying to get my company to introduce a new policy that I'm a big fan of. It's called Fist Fight a Coworker Friday. Like
Yes.
I third Friday of every month, you should be able to just fist fight a coworker with no
Oh, hold on.
repercussions.
You might be able to sell this if you call it fisting a coworker Friday. If take out the fighting part, just call it fisting a
No,
coworker Friday.
no, I don't think that would work either.
It's fisting Fridays. Welcome.
It's fisting Friday. Yeah, I think I'd be calling in sick every third Friday or whatever Friday we were doing it.
Oh hell, if it's fisting involved, I'm there every Friday. I'm down.
Oh yeah, you would be down. You'd be
Hell
down.
yeah, hell
Yeah,
yeah.
me not so much. No,
So
no.
so we stray a little bit. When did you
We
decide it
did.
was time to get back in the oil field? Like when did you decide like, hey, you know what? Like my kids are old enough, like maybe they can handle this,
I
maybe
don't know
I
that
can
it,
handle this. Let's jump in.
so, oh geez. Kai would have been, so my youngest was just going into kindergarten. And I thought, like now is probably uh, the best time to do it because he's going to be in school. And I was lucky. This position kind of fell into my lap where I'm not gone a lot. I am gone like from time to time, a couple days here and there, and then back, and a couple days here and there. It's not really a big deal. So I I start stupid early in the morning, and I work my ass off all day, and I can usually be home shortly after the kids get home from school. I work from home, a couple hours in the evenings, and the on call makes it tough because I'm on
Yeah.
call all the time.
You're the dispatcher, right? Dispatch has got the dispatch phone. When it rings, you gotta
Yeah,
answer.
you got to answer it. And nobody told Southern Alberta this year about breakup. So we're super
Breakup
busy.
doesn't exist. Breakup hasn't really
It's a myth.
existed up here for a while.
Yeah, it's a myth, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. It hasn't really been muddy. We're we're doing dust control on the roads during breakup.
Yes. We got way more moisture down here than you guys did, but we didn't get hit with it until beginning of March, and then it just wouldn't stop.
Yeah. It's raining right now. Not really nearly enough as it needs to. It might rain tomorrow a little bit, but then there's no rain in the foreseeable future. And it's
No.
already drier than a popcorn fart out there. Peace River was on fire last week. Um, you know,
Hmm.
uh, there was that pipeline explosion out near Hinton. There
Yep.
was, shit, man, like Fox Creek's the trees around here only got a 50% burn last year. Like,
Yeah, I know it's
it's
crazy.
dry,
Well, even down
dry.
here, so like I live in the heart of corn country, right? And everything here is irrigation, and the irrigation farmers are only getting like a quarter of the water that they did last year because it's
Yeah.
so dry.
Well, I read an article the other day that said Alberta and Saskatchewan, parts of BC, have been outspending their water issues for the last couple of like the last 20 years,
Yep.
right? We have been outspending the drought really to keep it from what's happening, and right now the crows, the chickens are coming home to roost. You can't outspend what's
Yeah.
happening right now, right?
No.
The lakes down south in southern Alberta, they're they're dry. They're
Yep.
actually like the water level. I can't remember the Oldman River. I think it's called the Oldman River. Like
The Old
they're
Man
they're
River.
only
Yep.
measure the Old Man River. They're only able to measure 20 inches.
Yep.
Anything below that, they can't measure. It's far below that. They don't even know how bad it is. They just know that it's bad,
Yeah.
right? And you go around here, and you can see where the water used to come up to. It don't come up that
Hmm.
far,
No,
and we
hasn't
didn't
years
have any
here.
snowpack. Yeah, yeah,
No, there's no snowpack in the mountains. It's scary this year.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
really concerned.
yeah. There's talk about mitigating shower usage in like Edmonton and Calgary. Keep your showers to a minimum. Try not to have one every day. I have one twice a day, so try not to have one
Yeah,
every
I
day.
don't want to be friends with those people.
Yeah, no. And then
No.
of course fracking and drilling. Like how are you gonna mitigate that? How are you gonna tell them
Yeah.
how do they use less water, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, and like this year, it down here, I don't know, I've got two fracks on the go right now and three drilling rigs, and
Yeah.
so I see it. The one frack, they've run water line, I think he said 48 kilometers because they can't get tanker trucks.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
That's insane. It's
Yep.
pretty crazy how long. how the distances they run those water lines, right? Like
I know, it's
sometimes it's
pretty
like, hey,
cool.
where's the frack? I don't know. Follow that water line over there. You'll eventually get
Pretty
to the
much.
frack, and sometimes
Follow
it
the
goes
line.
for a while, man. Like,
Yep. Yep. It's
yeah, that's
wild. But
crazy.
it's cool.
That's
It's cool.
so.
I go ahead.
Kai, Kai was in kindergarten, and you were just like, hey, you know what? Like, Mama's going back to work. I'm gonna go make more money than my Asian over here, my boy.
Yeah, I mean, it just worked out, and then this job kind of fell into my lap with a really great company. It's been around forever and ever and ever. So it, it just kind of fell in my lap, and it's just gone from there. I've been with them now for 3 years, and so it's good.
Good for you.
Yeah, I love it.
Good
My
stuff.
kids
So
ask me about it all the time.
how does Scotty feel knowing that the missus makes more money than he does?
I don't know that I make more money than he does, but actually, I know I don't make more money than he does.
Shit. You just
Yeah,
crushed my whole like talking point there.
I know, but you know what? Okay, through COVID, people were weird. They hoarded toilet paper and everybody bought new vehicles.
That
And
is weird.
it is weird. And it's continued to be weird because people keep their vehicles on average for 4 years. Well, do the math on it. So now those vehicles are getting traded in, and it's a big thing. And
We just bought a new vehicle.
did you?
Yeah, we got rid of the Jeep. Man, the Jeep was
That thing
way
was,
too
it was
small for me.
time.
It was way
It was
time. We had it for seven
time.
years, but it was just
Yeah.
Casey and I. It was great. We're like, look at all this room. Hell, put the back seats down. Let's go to Pound Town in the back seat, right? And it was great. Had one kid, and it was like, all right, we got lots of room still, like a little bit less room, but we still got. Had a second kid, couldn't carry another passenger with us. It's like, hey,
No.
like if I was home and my sister was there, I had to ride the trunk, right? And it
Yeah.
was cool. It was
You
cool. I
got
didn't have
when
to
you
figure
have
fuck my
kids, you
phone the whole
gotta
time.
have well, when you have kids, you gotta have that third row SUV, right? I've got a third
Yeah,
row SUV.
yeah. And so it was like that for like 4 years with two kids, and it was like,
Yeah.
all right. And then so we just traded it in, and we got a Mitsubishi Outlander. And
Nice.
let me tell you, mint, like it is luxurious compared to the Jeep. Like we
Oh,
have heated seats.
okay, but
It
to be fair, a Volkswagen is luxurious compared to your Jeep.
fair enough. That
So
Jeep was a little bit basic.
it was basic. Yeah.
It was a
It was
basic.
a basic white girl. It really was.
It really was. And man, like the Outlander, man, I'm telling you, like, man, like
Oh yeah.
heated seats, uh, third row seating. You put those seats down, fold them in. You got like a pickup truck back there.
Yeah, it's
It's
nice.
got it's fast. It's good on fuel. It's a mom's vehicle, and like without being a soccer
Yeah.
van or a soccer mom van. I don't know how you'd say it. Without being one of those, it's not one of those.
See, I have to have a full size SUV because in the back of mine, there's
Yeah.
4 baseball bags plus my coaching bag. Um, it's crazy. And then baseball stuff comes in, the curling stuff goes out because we all curl. It's pretty, we've got somewhere to go every day, it seems like. There's not quite enough hours in the
Fucking
day.
curling, man. Fucking curling. I want my daughter to like one of them to just get interested in curling, just so I could have an excuse to go and watch curling.
Well, I do this thing where I only play sports I'm good at, so I don't curl. I will like twice a year because Jackson bullies me.
Yeah.
So I will curl with him once a year because he does. He bullies me. He get bullied by a 13-year-old. He's bigger than me. But curling's not my jam. But I like to go watch it. I just I'm not exactly the most graceful person on dry ground, let alone throw me on ice.
You wouldn't be good at hockey
No.
then.
No. Well, Richard, look at the size of me.
You are incredibly small, and that's coming from
I
me.
am. Yeah.
I think we're
Yeah,
like the same height,
you're
maybe.
you might be like that much taller than me. It's not.
Oh man, I remember like we got together for Clay's barbecue. Are you going to that this year again?
No, no.
No. I think we might try. We might try to go. I ran into Clay at Ernieo's in Fox Creek here about a
Okay.
month ago, and we might try to go down. But I think we're aiming to go to Warren's here in
Yes.
July, end of June. I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know.
End of June for first weekend in July. So July long weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
July long
Yeah.
weekend, yeah. So we're looking at going down, even if it's just for one day. We'll come down. It was fun to
You totally
hang
should.
out. Yeah, of course, of course. And maybe I can get a on the throne with Dick made like one of the videos made, and last year
We
I
have
caught.
never done that.
I know. We're gonna have
And
to
we've
do this.
talked about it 100 times and we've just never done it.
Yeah, I know. I was looking back through them and I saw last year's with Jimmy and Chris Barber in the porta potty,
Yes,
and
I
I was like,
remember
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
That was the year before. It wasn't last year, it was the year before.
No, it was last summer when Rory broke her arm. Or no, it was the year before that.
It was the year before.
Has it been that long already?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because it
because
was right
this
after
summer
that.
we moved to. Yeah, this summer we moved to Edmonton. Last year we
Because it
lived
was
in
right after
Calgary the
that
whole.
that I took my break. It was right after Roy broke her arm that I took my break.
Wow, this kid is
Yeah.
just starting to go down slides again. Like over the last like couple months.
Yeah, I mean that's got to be some trauma.
Yeah,
That
but you
poor
would think
kid.
that like as soon as you break your arm, you wouldn't be climbing on tables, one to get into trampolines,
No,
and just running
it
around like a
never slowed her
menace.
down.
It didn't slow
That
her
child
down
is a
one bit.
force. She is
She's
a
a
force of
menace.
nature. Yeah,
She's a
but she's
menace, and I
cute.
love it. She
I
is.
do
She
too.
is,
She's
and
adorable.
she right now is being screened for the gifted program at her school, like what the school she'd be going to. So,
She must get that from Casey.
oh, 100%. There's no way she's getting that from me. Penelope's having a hard time reading the. She, that's me. What up?
What up?
What up?
Grade school
Hey.
dropout. Well,
Oh
you know what?
man.
If it doesn't work out for her, she can always come and be another oil field, yeah, strong oil field woman. Because there's a lot of
Hey,
us out there.
there's a lot of strong welfare women, and you know what? I'm pumped. Like, this is episode 2 for the month, right? Of May.
Yeah.
We're talking to the mothers, the blue collar mothers. This is episode 2. I have 2 more to do, but I think I might have like 1 or 2 bonus episodes this month because like there's just so many of them. There's so many of
I
them that
think
are
you should.
incredible.
And there's so many of us. Like
Yep.
we work hard and then our day doesn't end at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Our day ends at 11 o'clock because now we've got the kids to bed. It's time to make the lunches, get the lunches into the fridge, figure out what we're having for supper the next day, make sure everybody's backpacks are together and ready to go so you can catch a couple hours sleep and be out the door to go to work in the morning. Like there's lots of time
Incredible.
I roll into work with one eye open and like coffee cup in my
Easy
hand
enough.
and like here we go.
Oh
It
man,
happens.
I'd probably crash a truck into a ditch or some shit at that point. But both
No,
eyes
I'm
are
an
open for me when I do that.
yeah, but I'm a good driver.
So.
You not so much.
No, no. And we've actually had someone that listens to this podcast, and I don't know where they're from. They were talking, they messaged me somewhere, and they said, "Hey, love listening to the podcast, but it sounds like maybe you shouldn't drive, right? Because we talk
Yes.
about it all the time, right?" And I destroyed a
I feel
truck like
like
a
we've
month
had this
ago.
conversation before too, and I think I've asked you flat out, where did you get your driver's license? Did it come in the mail? Did you order it from Temu?
Oh shit! No, it came in like a Cracker Jack. But hey, you remember
I
like
knew
the
it.
General Mills cereal boxes in like the '90s? Came with Roller
Yes.
Coaster Tycoon and like Monopoly.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I got my driver's license from. And you know what? Like,
I
shout
knew
out to
it.
Roller Coaster Tycoon. Actually, when we're done this, I'm going to play Roller Coaster Tycoon on the Nintendo Switch. Oh man, I can't get
Of
enough of
course.
that game. It's addicting. I had to go buy a PlayStation 5. I spent $1,200 on a PS5 because I bought a game on the computer a few years ago. It was the Roller Coaster Tycoon successor. It was
Mm-hmm.
Planet Coaster. Everything Roller Coaster Tycoon could have been or should have been, but like it's not. So whatever. But like this game's amazing. And so I couldn't play it on my laptop because my laptop wasn't good enough. I'd play 5 minutes of it and it crashed my laptop. So then I'd play this game in 5 minute intervals. I spent $60 on this game and I couldn't play it. So when I found out that it was on the PS5, I went and got like the best PS5 I could think of just to play this game. I'm like, fuck yeah. So I spent another $60 on the game, right? And of course now it's more because of all the expansion packs that have come out. This was like 2016 I bought this game, right? So so like I'm playing this game a lot now, and like so I go home and Casey's playing like Dreamlight Valley or Hogwarts Legacy on there, and I can't even play this game. So like my laptop kept me from playing the game like 8 years ago, and now my wife's keeping me from playing the game now. Like, am I ever gonna get to play this thing or what?
No, you're not. So I bought a PS5 for my kids, like when it was the whole big thing, and oh, we can't find them. I got lucky on like it was December 23rd. I got lucky. I just happened to be
Nice.
at EB Games and they were unloading one, and you know what? You're coming home with me. So I got the Mom of the Year award that year for sure. My kids were stoked. I've never been allowed to play it. Wouldn't even know. No.
Last summer,
There's a lot of Fortnite battles on
oh
my
yeah,
PS5. Yeah.
last summer I was working in North Battleford, and
Hmm.
Casey and the girls they flew out to Ontario, and I just happened to have that day off that they left, but like I couldn't get home to see them. So like I'm like, you know what? Like, do I stay here? I'm like, nah. I'm driving 5 hours home to play Planet Coaster on the PlayStation.
Of
I drove
course you
five
are.
hours. Yeah, I drove 5 hours home, had a quick shower, got out, played Planet Coaster for like 8 hours. I looked at the time and like, well, I'm not going back tonight, right? So I got up super early the next morning and drove 5 hours back to North Battleford, and all just to play PlayStation.
I
It
mean,
was
you got to
worth
do
it.
what you got to do. Myself personally, I'm a grown up, so
Hell yeah! What's the best part about being a mom?
honestly, all of it. There is
Okay.
I was that person. Okay, truth, 100% full disclosure. I was that person that said I never wanted kids. I didn't even like kids. And then my oldest son was born, and he was pretty okay. I kind of liked him. He was cool. Um, my oldest son and I grew up together because I was young when I had him. I was 20. So him and I grew up together, and then having these other two, it's a trip. Like it is an absolute blast. Um, I'm glad I have all boys. I wouldn't have been a very good girl mom, and I already like. What do you do with them? I don't know. Boys was just it come easy and natural to me because I'm high energy. I'm into sports. Like they want to fight and wrestle, I'm gonna body slam them into the couch. So all of it's great. I love every second of it.
Does your
But the
oldest boy
best,
know
I
that you
think.
don't? What?
Oh, he knows. My oldest boy. Like you should
I
hear the
was gonna say,
conversations we have.
does your oldest boy know that you didn't want him? That he's a mistake?
Um, So if you go back into my videos, funny story about that. If you go back into my videos from last May, my son, he was away. Trying to remember, he was flying somewhere. I don't even know where he was at. Anyways, it doesn't matter. He says, "Mom, I promise you." He says, "Your Mother's Day gift's coming. I ordered it on Amazon. It's going to be delivered to your house." I'm like, "Okay, cool, whatever. Forget about it." Shows up at my door on Mother's Day, and it's a box of condoms with a note that said, "From your what the hell from the first consequences of your actions."
I love that.
So so we joke about it, but honestly, he's such an amazing kid, and I'm really lucky to be his mom. Like he's a pilot for crying out loud. He's 22 years old. He told me when he was 4 years old, "Mom, I'm gonna fly planes," and I was like, "Yeah, right." Because he also said that he was gonna drive a train and he was gonna do all these other things, but no, he stuck with it. He said at 4 years old he wanted to be a pilot, and he turned 14, got his private pilot's license, and it's like $85,000 in student debt, and here we are. He's got his full commercial pilot's license. And he's off in the big scary world. So
Good for him. You
yeah,
got to be
he's a
one
pretty
proud
cool
mama
kid.
there. Jeez.
Oh, I am so proud of
So,
all three of my boys.
Aurora has been telling me at age 4 that she wants to hurt people for a living. So, I mean, like you're telling
I
me that I
believe
should
it.
believe her. Oh, yeah.
Maybe. maybe be afraid. Well, I mean, hey, hang on. Professional wrestler.
Yeah, we could have
She
like the next
she could
China
be.
on our hands.
Could have the next China. You could have the next Ronda Rousey.
Oh
Like,
my god. All
yeah.
right,
I
we're
mean,
putting her
maybe
in
look at getting
MMA.
her into MMA. Yep.
Yeah, hell yeah. Shit, that's it.
She's
You know,
either gonna rock somebody and be hooked, or she's gonna get rocked and be like, "This isn't for me."
we were at West End Mall during the Brazilian Jiu Jitsu championships, and we're up top, and she stops and watches, and she's like enthralled by it. She's just like watching it. I love this, and she's like, "Can I do that? I want to hurt some people." And it's like, man, like you're four, no, right? But yeah,
Yeah.
no, we're gonna put her in something. She's got a lot of energy that she needs to work out. So,
Yes. Yeah, I can
and
see it.
maybe
Well, then
getting rocked by someone bigger might do her some good.
it could. It very well could. Like, I don't know. Being a boy mom is because yeah, I work a blue collar job. I, but I'm a pretty pink girly kind of girl for the most part. So everybody's like, what are you gonna do with boys? I'm a natural boy mom. I love it. Like nothing they say grosses me out, or I just take it all in stride because boys are gross. They really are. Like I know more about
Oh
farts
man,
than I ever thought any person should know.
oh Aurora and Penelope, they love Aurora. Penelope wanted to get back at Aurora time. She went and took a big old shit, and this is her own words. I just took a big old shit, Dad. I'm like, yeah, you did. And then she like we're like I was wrestling with Aurora in her room like not long after that, and I look over and Aurora saw it at the same time I did. She's like, "Why is there poop on my blanket?" Right?
Oh
And we're like, I look
no.
over and Penelope got all excited and decided like, I'm gonna wipe my ass on Aurora's blankets. Like, good for you, kid.
Oh,
Good for you.
that's that's awesome. Like also good for her. High five. Um, like
It's
my boys just
disgusting.
have
It's
battle death
disgusting.
matches. It is disgusting. It is. But like I
Yeah.
said, once you've had
It,
three boys, nothing surprises you anymore. Like
yeah.
all three of my boys are very, very different. Like my oldest son, he is created in my image. Um, he's he's got a mouth on him, just like me, but he's super smart and he works hard and he's just an all around good kid. Then there's my middle son who is absolutely brilliant. Um, like, you ever see the show Little Sheldon?
Yeah,
That's my
of
middle
course. Yeah.
son.
Young
Like that
Sheldon,
is
right?
my middle son, young Sheldon. That's my youngest or
Yeah.
my middle son. Absolutely. He's so smart and he's so kind and compassionate and caring and just everything you could ever want your daughters to date. He's just a sweet kid. And then there's my youngest. That kid gives zero fucks about your feelings, about your safety and your well-being. He don't care. It's like it is full tilt, all about him. He gives a fuck. And away we
Casey
go.
and I talk about all the time how Penelope would have made a good like second kid, right? Like she just, calm, chill, just maybe number two, right? Aurora would have been like a perfect number one, right? But like it didn't work out that way. So
No.
we're sort of Aurora's an interesting character, and I love it. I love like I want her to be like badass and like independent and take no shit. But when I'm trying to raise her, I'd really like her to not mouth back
To
at
not
me
be
because I'm
that,
giving her
yeah.
shit. Yeah, don't be that when we're trying to raise you. Like save that shit for
Yeah.
later on down the line. Be strong, independent, and take no shit when I'm not trying to give you shit, right? And it's really interesting. Out of the two though, she loves me the most. Like Penelope, like she could care less. She could take me or leave me, right? And that kind of
Yeah.
hurts a little bit because like that's my firstborn, and like she never wanted to be left alone with me. She never wanted because dad was always gone, right? Like that's all
Yeah. So dad was
she's
a
ever
stranger.
known. Aurora,
Yeah.
yeah, I get it. I understand. It kind of
Like I
hurts a
get
little bit,
it.
right? That
It does.
I get it. I understand.
I get it because I missed so much of my oldest son's life because I was gone. I was away working. So I missed so much of him growing up that I was pretty bound and determined that I wasn't going to let that happen with the other two. And I mean, every parent makes mistakes. Believe me, I've made my fair share of them. But with having the other two, it was almost like getting a new lease on motherhood. And I focused a lot more on making sure that I didn't miss the big moments and I was there for everything. And when I
Yeah.
couldn't be there, I mean, I was on the phone with them, FaceTiming. Um, I hate leaving my kids now. It's it really like I'll go away for work. I have to FaceTime them as soon as I get to the hotel so they can see my hotel room and like they have a whole list of hotels that they never want to stay in because it doesn't look like fun. Um,
Yep.
but
My kid's the exact opposite, right? Because Casey brings them when I'm on the road crew. She brings them around
yeah,
and visits a lot, right? So they went on incredible adventures over the last 2 years. Like they all they know is like, hey, we just drove 10 hours, but at the end of that, we just saw Dad and like better yet, we saw the crew that he works with and the hotels, the pools, the breakfasts, the rooms. It
yeah.
was somewhere other than home, right? And it was they love that shit. But Penelope, Pippa,
Oh,
it kind of hurts
Pippa.
a little bit because like when I'm talking to her, she'll ignore me for the most part. Like she'll pretend I'm not even there, right? Casey has to be like, "Hey, your dad's talking to you. Hey, your dad's talking to you," and I go hug her. She's getting better with it. She'll give me a hug. She'll give me a kiss. She's like, "I love you, Dad." It's like, "Cool, cool. Yeah, we're good. All right." But Aurora, like, she's a daddy's girl, right, through and through, and
Yeah,
I
she
I
is.
love that.
She is.
I
See,
love that, and yeah,
Pippa and I became like instant friends because we both have pink glasses. Like we were instant. Like
yeah.
and Aurora, she was like, "Are you a Dick Frost fan?" I have a name. She didn't care that I had a name. Like actually neither of them cared that I had a name. They just cared that I was
Yeah.
a Dick Frost fan.
Yeah, yeah. Aurora will go to battle for me any day, any
Oh
day.
yeah.
Oh
Like
my
she
gosh, she'll go to
has
battle
your
for the
back.
one she loves. Oh yeah, but
Yeah.
she's all about like is my dad's here. When I run through the door, Penelope's getting more excited now, but like Aurora's always been like, "Daddy's home," and Penelope could take it or leave it, right? And like I get it, I understand.
Yeah.
I sort of did that to myself in the name of taking care of my family. Like, and that's just the
Yeah,
sacrifices. Like the workaway parents got to
exactly.
make and understand that hey, this
And
shit's
we
gonna
do,
happen.
and it sucks, but ultimately it's for the greater good, I guess, because it's keeping clothes on their back, food on the table, a roof over their heads. Is it
Yeah,
ideal? Absolutely not. It sucks being away from your kids and your partner for long periods of time. And then there's all the stigmas attached to
yeah,
oil field workers, more specifically women in the oil field. But we're not even going to get into that because I mean, we get branded, we all get painted with the same brush. It sucks, but it is what it
yeah.
is.
We're
We
trying,
all,
and we've
I
tried
mean,
so hard on this podcast to make that so it's not so much. We've talked to a lot of blue collar women, a lot of oil
yeah,
field women, and who we've
yeah.
tried to maybe humanize them and turn that around a bit. Like, hey,
I
not
think
all
it's
women are
time.
like that, of course.
No, and actually, the group of women that are like that is the minority.
Yeah,
For the
I've
most
never
part,
met I've never met
we're there to
any.
go work. I've met
I've
a few
met
over the
I
years.
haven't met.
I've met a few.
Oh, maybe I've met
Yes,
one.
you have. Yeah,
We've
you met
definitely
one.
met one. Yeah,
We've definitely
yeah,
met
we
one.
definitely have. Yeah, I sure have. And it was kind
Yeah.
of funny. Yeah, no, we're not even gonna go there.
No, no,
No, we're
but
not even gonna go there.
that hit the highlight reels really quick on Facebook. Whew.
Yeah, it sure
Anyways,
did.
moving on. And actually,
Sure did.
it wasn't even you and me that come in hot. Out of nowhere, here comes Casey, just boom. I'm getting all these screenshots sent
Well,
to me, and I'm like, I don't know what to do.
Casey didn't mean for it to come off that way either, right? She was
No,
trying
but
to
Casey
stick up
stood
for the
her
person.
ground. I was very
She
proud of
sure
Casey.
did.
She
She
stood
sure
her
did. I
ground.
was very proud of her too. I was very
Yeah,
proud of her for that. And, like she might not have meant to say what she said and it came off differently. But
it did.
when she was attacked for it, She's like, no, 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 no. And the shit that they said to her and the shit that they tried to, no, it was,
Yeah.
yeah. That was 2 years ago now, right?
It
And you know
was.
what?
Again,
They're still
again,
fucking
this was
talking
all
about it.
stuff this is all stuff that was going on in the background of why I needed to take a social media cleanse. Because all of this stuff
Yep.
was happening, and even though it wasn't directly involving me, everybody was bringing
Yep.
it to me like, "Hey, did you see this? Hey, did you see this?" And it takes a toll on your mental health. And finally, there was one
Yeah,
day,
sure
and I
does.
had talked to you. I had You were the last person I talked to before I deactivated my accounts. Um, I said, like, "Listen, I'm still here. You need me, call me." And we were really good. We kept in touch probably better then than we do now. Um,
Yeah.
because I just
Just
needed to
really
take a break. I
busy
mean,
now.
yeah, I know. Um, like, 'cause work is hard, and then parenting when you get home is hard, and you gotta make sure that there's enough of you to go around for your wife, your kids, work, and same thing with me. I mean, I've got grown ass human children, that's what I call them at work, that I it's my job to keep them safe and alive. And then I
Yeah.
have tiny humans at home that again, it's my job to keep them safe and alive. And it's not easy.
I think I want to give myself a pat on the back a little bit for how I handled that whole situation because like I could have fucking blown it right up, right?
You did.
I
You took
avoided
definitely took the high road.
landmines. I
Yeah, you
avoided
did.
landmines, and I was just like, you know what, like. You know what? The internet for you guys, maybe just something you're fucking around on. TikTok might be just something you're fucking around on, right? You're not taking it seriously, and you don't care, what's going on. But I've built something and continue to build something here where like I've
Yeah.
turned it into a business. Like I've turned it into like,
Yeah.
and I've worked really hard to gain some of the followers that I have
Yeah.
that don't want to see that. They don't want to open up their FYPs and be dicks in a beef. That unfollow
No.
because I don't want to see that. And like
Like back in the
some
day,
of these followers that I gained have become friends. So
exactly. Like back in the day, the very first reason why I ever started following you in the first place was your whole series of how long is it going to take Terry to kick me out of his office today? Those were
yeah,
my favorite. Those to this day, I still laugh because you'll post it on this day one, and I laugh every time. And like, I think when you go on the road crew, you should start a new series called "How Long Is It Going to Take Terry to Hang Up on Me Today?"
I definitely should. Terry picked me up at my house there last week when I came back to work, and Aurora come running outside and it's like, "Hey Terry, remember when you kicked my dad out of your office?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, it's been a while since we made one of these videos, bro." And he's like, "I know." I'm like, "My daughter's only 4, and she still remembers that shit. Like
Yeah, they were
it's
my
been a hot
favorite.
minute." Yeah, yeah, they were a lot of fun to make, and like
Yeah,
I think I got probably I started doing it before I hit 1,000. I definitely
yeah,
did,
you
and I
did.
think those videos helped me get to my 1,000. So
Yeah, I think you're right.
yeah,
Like I find
yeah,
so my son, like my middle son, he's now kind of getting immersed in the TikTok experience, and um, so we've safeguarded it as much as we can, and I still really monitor what he's watching and stuff on there. But him and I took like a mini mom son vacation here a couple weeks ago. We went up to Edmonton, just him and me, just kind of went and did our own thing. And while we were up there, we decided to go see the upcyclers place because I've never been. I mean, I've followed Dave forever, but I've never been to the zoo.
yeah.
Um,
It's an
like
incredible
huge shout out
place.
to the upcycler. Huge shout out to the upcycler. He took my son, who's just completely enthralled by all of this stuff that he's made out of cutlery, and he's like, "Well, come here, buddy. Like, let's make something." And they made a keychain and like, stuff like that. So Jackson, of course, has to make a TikTok video about it. And he's also excited to get home and show his friends, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah, Dave is one of my earliest friends on
He
social
is
media. Dave and Donnie,
beautiful
I owed
human.
a lot to them. I owed a lot
Yeah,
to
you
those
do. I've
guys.
never met
They
Donnie.
Donnie's incredible, going through some shit. I talk to him on the phone often. I talked to Dave yesterday. I had to call him. You know, every time I get on there, it's been a while since Dave and I talked. But anytime I get on there and I see Dave, he's not having a good day. I'm like, that's my buddy. Like I go to
Yeah,
war for that guy. So like I go
absolutely.
see how he's doing, and I try to do that with all my friends on there. Like Kylie and Dennis, and anytime any like
Absolutely.
and you had there's been times where I've called you and even even some of the other people that like I don't talk to anymore. I still hope they're doing good mentally. Like I see some
Exactly.
shit and it's like, hey man, I wish I could call that person right now and be like, hey, you good, right? But like
Yeah.
that's just who I am though, and like Dave and Dottie, man, it all started with that. We were gonna be the
Yeah.
Alberta boys, right? Like that was gonna be our
Yeah.
hashtag. We hung out for a weekend. Those guys helped me grow. They were Dave is at or I am at right now where Dave was when we first started hanging out,
Yeah.
right? Of course,
Dave's an
I'm never gonna
amazing
break a
guy.
million. I don't have
Well,
that
you
kind
never
of
know. You never know. Because stranger
nah.
things have happened. You get the
Stranger
right
things.
video, pops off into
Yeah,
the algorithm. I mean, like look at Warren and I. We had a million view video just,
you
and
sure
all it
did.
was
Yeah,
a bunch of like, and that was huge for Warren. I on my other accounts, I'd had a couple of million view videos, but that was the first one for Warren, and he's been on here for 4 or 5 years. So
yep.
that was a huge thing for him. Um, you get that million views, and it's a big thing. I think getting the million followers though, if you turn into one of those, if you do get your million followers and you turn into one of those creators, you know what I'm talking about. You and I are gonna not be friends no more.
I don't think that'll
Like
ever happen.
I will come to where you live and be
Yeah,
like, Richard, sit down, we need to have a chat.
yeah.
Like
No,
you've
I
done
would.
to me.
I'd never do that. I'd never do that.
No.
Like it's. We've talked about this. I've talked about this with Ben, Notorious Canuck. We've talked
Hmm.
about this a couple times with him, where like he said to me one time, "Get a little bit of an ego," and I was like, "What do you mean? I don't have an ego." And he's like, "It's not a bad thing. It's hard not to get an ego with with all this shit, right? Like you're getting recognized places. Sure,
Yeah.
people see you. Nobody cared who
Yeah.
I was just some other dude walking through the mall at one point in time, and I will be that guy again. But like right now in this chapter of my life, I can't walk through West End Mall, right? And
No.
like,
No.
and it's crazy. And he's like, there's a bit with that. It would be hard to remain humble. And he's like, you're doing a great job, but like, there's still just a little bit of an ego with it, right?
See, and
And yeah,
I don't see it like because like I said, I've been friends with you since we were well before we were both at 1,000, and I haven't seen that change in you where you've become that big-headed person. And we've seen lots of our friends or people we thought were our friends grow massive accounts, grow
yeah.
multiple massive accounts, and it went straight to their head and straight to their ego. Um, and yeah, I
They didn't
figure
even
I'm
have to
always going to
grow
be
big
the same
accounts to
person.
be. They didn't even have to grow big accounts to become that person, right?
No,
I got stabbed in the back by a dude I helped carry. Like I carried that dude to fucking
same.
where he was, right? Fucking
Hmm.
I'm
Same.
not yeah, fuck that. Like it's not worth my time, right? It's
It's
just
not
not
worth
worth
it,
it.
and that's the thing is, and I don't even give it another thought anymore. Um,
No, I'd do it all
because
over
you know
again.
what? Absolutely, I would. There's very few things I would change. I I don't think I would have called as many people out. Um, because it is when you take a break and you take that step back and you look at it, because I was an internet troll, and I look back at all the things that I said and the people that I probably hurt. I think that was in coming back, I had a lot of apologies to make because I was an internet troll. I picked fights on the internet for free.
Yeah. Yeah, I
And
mean, I thought it was funny at times. Like there are times where I was like,
well,
"Ooh,
there was times
maybe
where
too
it was
far, too far."
yeah, that's what I mean. Like there were times as long as it didn't cross that line, it was fine. It was good. It was funny. Because that's one thing I do think I am fairly funny when I get going on my little tangents and my
I
rants
think
and
you're hilarious.
well, thank you. But I realized I could also be very mean, and I'm not a mean person. I'm just not. I'm that person that like I'll crack a joke, I might make fun of your face, like because I'm annoyed with you or whatever. Like I tell Warren all the time, his face is stupid. It's not a stupid face. Just his face is stupid in that moment that I'm mad at him. But that's my thing. If I'm not making fun of you, if I'm not teasing you and giving you a hard time, there's a good chance I don't like you.
Yeah, that's the way of like blue collar. That's the way of the oil field, right? When
Yeah,
your
it
coworkers are
is.
teasing you, when your coworkers are teasing you and getting on your ass, right? It's because they trust
Yep.
you enough to know that they can do that, and like you're not
Exactly.
sensitive. You can handle it, and they're just gonna have fun with it. It's when they stop that you
Exactly.
gotta be worried. It's when they're not gonna hang out with you. They're not gonna make fun of you. They're not gonna like best friends, right? Like best friends can cut each other
Exactly.
down and tear each other apart, and they know they're joking, right?
Exactly. Like if I am being nice and quiet and not my most authentic self, odds are one, I'm uncomfortable, and two, I don't like you.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, but when I'm uncomfortable in a situation, and you can tell, you've seen it. When I am uncomfortable in a situation, I just kind of step back and I get very quiet. And that says
yeah.
a lot because I'm not quiet. I have a tiny little body with a big loud voice.
I love it. It's great. I remember we went to a barbecue, and I mean like shit got barbecued that day. Right? Like
Oh yeah,
it wasn't food, right? But
on a
like
stick.
oh shit. I was I was like taken back, like you weren't really all that shy, but like, you were a little quieter, and then like all of a sudden you opened up and it's like boom, and then oh shit, Lindy's here, right?
Yeah, you could tell the exact moment Lindy showed up.
Yeah, yeah,
But
it was
I
awesome.
did. I was quiet. I was kind of, reading the room, so to speak, and because there was some people there that I had beef with, and still, I'm not gonna say have beef with. There's some people that I have blocked, that I don't talk to, and I don't want to.
Yeah.
Not because their content doesn't serve me. I guess is what it is, and they're people that don't affect my day to day real life. So
Yeah.
why do I need to pay any attention to how they feel about me? I don't, because at the end of the day,
I yeah.
they're not my
Yeah.
friend.
I had to learn that lesson the hard way on there, right? Where,
Yep.
I kept a lot of people on there and was like social with a lot of people on there whose content didn't serve me anymore. You know what I mean? Like who maybe their content never did. We were in certain groups of people, and I followed back and I kept them around out of respect, or out
Hmm.
of like I don't know the word I'm looking for. It was just like I kept them around anyways because like it would have been really awkward. It would be just stop talking at
It
that
wasn't
point.
even
So, but
respect. It wasn't even respect. It was out of like some misguided sense of loyalty that we felt we had to have to these people that were our internet friends that weren't really our friends.
misguided loyalty. Yeah, there you go. There you go. And then when the shit popped off, and when the dust settled, and I saw where people stood, right? I'm like,
Yep.
all right, I'm not taking this as sides.
Yep.
Like
See,
I
and
got to
that's what
utilize this
happened.
block button now. Like I've never blocked anyone.
Exactly. And all of that happened right at the same time, like when I took my break, because everything was falling apart. My friend groups were all fighting with each other. People that I thought were my friends were
Yeah,
revealing their true colors. People that I had no idea showed me who they really were and ended up building some great friendships out of. And then people that I knew all along were in my corner, like you and Casey. We all were just kind of standing there, just watching the shrapnel fall. And I was like, this is too much for
yeah,
me. I got to dip for a little while.
yeah, yeah. You know what? I utilize that block button, and like
Yep.
when I tell you, I utilize that when I hit the block button and got rid of some people. I didn't see the trashy content. They were the
Yep.
drama filled trashy content they were putting out anymore,
Exactly.
and it opened up my FYP to some amazing content that I would
Yeah.
never have otherwise seen. Right? I'm like, wow. Right? Like I found this girl who was from Afghanistan, and
Hmm.
um, she had footage and video proof of soldiers of a certain nation that were, committing war crimes against her people,
Yes.
right? And she was putting
Yep.
these soldiers away with her footage. And I'm like, no
Yeah.
way. I gotta follow this
And that
person,
was
right? Like, this
awesome.
is
I
crazy.
I know I
And
followed her too.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And like there was a girl who plays the piano just for fun. Her mom was a pianist, and she got handed down this piano, and she says she wasn't very good, but I went live with her and she's like, I'm not very good. I just play it for just for fun. And there was like 50 people in my live, and like we had
Yeah.
her playing the piano, and now I tell you, she should have been making content with this shit. She made $30 in my live because like, hey, name
That's
a song, I'll
wild.
play. They name a song and she just play. Like, man, you need to take this. You need to go live. You need to
Yeah.
post videos, get 1,000 followers,
Yeah,
go live,
here's
and
your
start
jumping
something
off
with
point.
this, right?
Go. I mean, even if you have to buy your first
Yes,
1,000 followers, just go. Um, because
yes,
and that's the beauty of social media. Um, when you don't interact with those posts, like do not interact with a post that you do not genuine like if you do not love that post, don't hit that like button. Don't comment on it
yeah,
because it changes your algorithm. And so you get all of these things on there that you don't want to see. And now what? I mean, I see pandas falling out of trees. That makes me so happy. Like, um, I
yeah,
don't know. I see the most ridiculous things now, but I also see some really cool things that I would never have seen otherwise because my algorithm would only show me that part of the internet, and
yep,
it doesn't serve me, and I don't see it anymore. It's great.
yep, yep. I don't. I personally, and I've had this conversation. I don't think any of that shit's over. It's coming back at some point.
Yeah,
Um, and there's going to be
I
collateral
agree.
damage. But like, I'm going to continue doing what I've always done, and I'm just going to ignore it. Right? I'm just gonna.
Yeah, me
I don't
too.
need that. Ben
Me either.
said something to me that was really good. Notorious Canuck. Eminem
Hmm.
doesn't go after everybody else for a reason, right? You know, people come at
Yeah,
him constantly, and he just shuts his mouth because when the
yeah,
moment he snaps back at them, he's sending them fans. People are gonna like
exactly.
go to this person
You're
and be like, "Oh
giving
my god." Yep.
in replying or even interacting with those people, you're giving them clout and notoriety that they otherwise wouldn't get. And it's just
Yeah.
not worth it. Myself personally, I will not interact with any of them anymore. Anything negative on the app because in
Yeah.
coming back this time, my experience is totally positive. I don't get any hate comments on my video. And even if I do, I might get one or two, like, um, most of them are, that don't know when they're defending poor old Warren. Um,
Uh oh.
so those ones always make me laugh. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Um,
Where'd she go?
so, oh,
Uh-oh.
can, is it you that's me breaking up or
She'll
you?
come back. She disappeared. She gone. Just having trouble connecting.
I can see
Unstable
you. Can
internet
you see me?
connection.
It's
Let's go like
you.
this. Boom. Come on back now.
Yeah, it was you that was having the issue. Oh, where'd you go, Richard?
We're off to never land.
There you
Says
go.
recording. Is she here?
Yes, we're recording. Can you see
Come
me? I can see
on
you.
back. That's still recording.
Can you see me?
Ah,
I can
that's
see
what
you.
editing's for. Or we don't edit, we just leave it in. Oh dear.
Can you see me?
Miss Lindy, where'd you go? Oh,
I'm
she's
here.
back. She's
That was
back.
weird. I just shut my camera off and turned it back on, and here I am. Here I am.
Ah, hell yeah. Hell yeah. No, it's been an interesting 4 years. I can say that
Yes,
much.
it
It's been
has. It
the
has.
internet's a wild ride.
It is. I mean, it's a wild ride. Um, but like everything else, your experience is what you make of it. Um,
Hell yeah.
like I've grown a lot as a person in the last 3 years. I've changed a lot of my views on things, and I just don't interact with things that don't serve me anymore.
Hell yeah.
Um, my kids actually grounded me and brought me back down to earth. Um, like after getting doxxed and everything posted on the internet, it was my middle son that was like, "Okay, mom, like this is enough now." Um, so it did. It changed. That stops you dead in your tracks. Like when you get called out by one of your kids, who at the time was like
Yeah.
9 or 10 years old, that stops you dead in your tracks really quick.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
because they're smart.
Yeah, they
Like,
sure
a
are.
lot of
They
times they're
sure are.
smarter than we are. So
They
it
definitely are.
changed things for
They
me.
I know my daughter is smarter than me. She can do more on an iPad than I ever will or ever could.
Trust me, I'm screwed at 8:30 at night when tech support goes to bed. Like if I break my phone or my iPad, I gotta wait till tech support gets home from school the next day to help me out.
Ah, it's brutal, brutal. Lindy, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. It's 10 o'clock,
Yes, it is.
and I'm so grateful that you donated your time to come on the podcast and
As
have a
always,
good
it's
time and
always a
have a good
pleasure to
chat.
talk with you, Richard. Always a pleasure
Uh,
to talk with you.
I love that. I love chatting with you. I love chatting with you, and we gotta do it more. We used to call
We
a lot on the
do.
phone. This
We used to
year,
talk once a week for sure.
oh, sometimes more, but this year
Yeah.
since I don't know, in November, since November, I have worked a lot of night shifts. I've mostly been on
Yeah.
nights from November to now. And like that's been hard mentally. It's been hard
Yep.
physically. Getting switched over to days for a few days and back to nights and just trying to, we haven't missed a day of the podcast despite that. There are days where like I'll get back and I'll have to record in the morning after working all night. Right. And
Mhm.
and I just keeping up and shit like that, right? And so I don't really get to talk to anyone. I have 90 unread text messages right now on my phone, right? And so
I believe it.
I get back to my boss, dispatch, and my wife, right? And my mom once in a while when I can, right? And
See,
like
and I'm the
it's
same way. Anybody that knows me knows the biggest lie I will ever tell you is I'll call you right back because I never do. Like I'll remember,
same.
but you're also been victim to that. I'll call you right back, and then like 7 to 10 business days, I'll remember and I'll be like, "Oh shit, sorry, I forgot to call you back." No, what was I saying? And I expect you to remember where I was in the conversation. Yeah.
Corso
So
Chris and I had
I'm
that
sorry to.
conversation a lot.
I love her.
She'll text me like 4 days after we called. She's like, "Hey, are you ever gonna call me back?" It's like, oh
Yes,
shit. Yeah, I'll call you back.
yes,
And then like another week goes by, and then I call her back. Hey, like what's up? So
yeah. She's awesome.
she is. So I usually end the podcast by asking, the Mount Rushmore question, right? Like you've listened, So um, if you could have your own Mount Rushmore, four of the most influential people that you look up to, inspired to be there, or that have inspired you, who would they be and why?
My mom. And anybody who knows my relationship with my mom, that's a big thing because my mom and I are like fire and gasoline. But at the end of the day, my mom is my ride or die. Um, oh God, that's a tough question, Richard. Um,
It is.
it is a really tough question. And I knew you were going to ask me this, and I should have been more better prepared for it because there's a lot of people I admire and I look up to. Um, Beth Dutton, fictional character. Yeah, I can use that. Beth
Who
Dutton.
you could use? Who? Oh, Beth Dutton. Oh,
Be-
badass.
Absolutely, right? I'm a little bit Beth Dutton some days. Yeah.
I believe that.
Mm-hmm. Um, yeah, I don't know. My mom
Two
for
more.
sure. Beth Dutton. Two more. Well, you, Richard.
Oh shit! I love when people say that. I'm gonna lie. You barely
And
look
my
up to me
kids.
though, like this much,
Like this much. Like if I put
like
on
this
heels,
much.
you're looking up to me. Um, and my kids, like all three of my kids, if I could morph them into one little spot. All three of my kids.
Hell yeah, hell yeah,
Yeah. They're
hell
what
yeah.
keeps
Your
me
your
going.
kids. Oh my god, my kids sometimes what keeps me from going. I
That
can't
too.
move today. It's their fault.
That too.
I got gray
That
hairs.
too.
It's their fault. I found grays in the mustache the other day.
Oh no. Just for men. It'll clear that right up.
I'm gonna enjoy aging gracefully. Like like if I have to get grays in the mustache, I gotta get grays in the mustache. I don't care.
Hmm.
I'm getting old. It's all
Yeah.
good.
There's a lot of grays in here, and that's why it's the color that it is because there's a lot of grays in there, and that comes from motherhood.
We're gonna be fucking amazing elderly people. Like I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to
we
my
are.
early bird specials.
Oh, right? Like, fuck yeah, eat dinner at 4 o'clock. Like watch
We
Matlock
do
and go
that
to
now,
bed. Like
anyways.
that's where yeah, that's true. We
Oh
do.
my God,
But that's
Matlock.
where it's at.
Yes.
Matlock.
Is it
Golden
Matlock or
Girls.
is it Judge Judy?
Ooh. Judge Judy was a
I
good I liked her.
I liked her
Also
too.
like Judge Joe Brown.
Judge Joe Brown was the shit.
Yeah.
Judge
Right?
Joe Brown, Judge Judy, and there was another one. Fucking shit, I can't remember his name.
I know who you're talking
Ah,
about.
yeah, there was three of
Like
them or four of
the
them. I don't
People's
remember.
Court. People's Court.
People's
Fuck
Court.
yeah.
Yeah, fuck,
Right?
we're old. Man, we're getting
Yeah, we
old.
are. We
Damn.
are Campbell's chicken soup, um, saltine crackers and ginger ale with a TV remote all by ourselves home from school sick with Bob Barker to keep us entertained. That's how old we are.
Drew Carey as well. Like not on that same show, but the Drew Carey show came in afterwards. But also, like, yeah, we watched The Price is Right, but
Yeah.
also we watched Maury. We watched the lie detector
Oh,
test determined
yes,
that was a lie.
that was a
You
lie.
are not the father, right? Like
I
those
love
were
it.
sick days. And then my
Hmm.
stepmother, she'd be watching Young and the Restless, and I'd just be like, "Yo, Victor Newman over here, what's up?"
I tell you what, Stefano DiMera terrorized the Desperate Housewives of the 90s forever. Like there wasn't a stay-at-home housewife in the 80s and 90s that didn't know Stefano DiMera and watched that man die 64 times.
Yo, Coronation Street. You watch Coronation Street?
I actually, you know what's funny, as I used to.
I love Coronation Street. I stopped watching
Yeah,
it a few years ago. I don't know if Casey watches
yeah.
it anymore either.
I used to
Coronation
watch it. Like
Street.
growing up on the farm, we had three channels. So like that was your Sunday. You watched 4 hours of Coronation Street and then yeah.
Fuck yeah. Well, Lindy, this has been a lot of fun. Thanks for taking us
Yes, it
down
has.
like memory lane there at the end here. Like I
Welcome.
feel
Well,
old.
thanks
My
for
hips are
having
hurting
me.
just thinking about this.
I
Yeah,
know. It's
no.
time to go put on some Bengay and pop an Advil and go to bed.
Oh my God, take a heartburn medication. I don't have heartburn, but I just know it's coming.
Yeah, it's coming.
It's coming. It's coming, and I'm going to be proactive about it, right? So,
Absolutely.
Lindy, happy Mother's Day.
Thank you, Richard.
You're welcome. And hey, stay frosty.
Absolutely. See ya.
Hell yeah. Play